10 Best Places to Visit in Malaysia. Hello viewers, you are watching our YouTube channel Kool&hothub. Malaysia is a country of contrasts, where different languages and cultures fuse and merge to create a unique Southeast Asian nation that's quite unlike any of its neighboring countries. Although Malaysia is always ranked well among the most visited countries in Asia, China usually steals the limelight and #1 spot. Long-term budget travelers often shun Malaysia as being too expensive. Malaysia is home to a beautiful coastline, tropical islands and coral reefs that are scorched by the sun. Humid rainforests in Borneo and on the mainland are full of rare wildlife, while the Highlands are always a cooling retreat from the heat. To help you plan your trip, here are the best places to visit in Malaysia. Number 1. Kuala Lumpur. Any journey to Malaysia should start in Kuala Lumpur, the nation's capital and largest city. Although at first it may seem like a sprawling metropolis, once you've found your feet, you'll realize that this is the heart of modern Malaysia. Old markets and colonial buildings stand in the shadow of the brightly lit Petronas towers and gleaming skyscrapers. There's food, intriguing museums and a diverse blend of Malay, Chinese, Indian and European influences to discover across this vibrant city. It's easy to spend at least 3 days in KL with all it has to offer. Number 2. Sipadan Island. Sipadan Island truly holds the best of Malaysia when it comes to scuba diving and snorkeling. This is Borneo's best island. It's a coral atoll, surrounded by some of the most diverse and colorful reefs and marine life in the world. Here you can see all sorts of underwater creatures, large and small, while the island itself is home to white sand beaches and beautiful green palm trees. It's not the easiest island to reach, as it's remote and isolated, but it is worth every extra effort needed to travel to it. Number 3. Penang. Malaysians are proud of their big island on the west coast, and they should be. The colonial city of Georgetown was made a UNESCO World Heritage Site and has plenty to offer in the way of museums, a seaside fort, historic homes, and most importantly, a famous street food scene. Number 4. Perhentian Islands. Backpackers and budget travelers love Malaysia's Perhentian Islands, especially Perhentian Kecil, the smaller of the two islands, where fine sand and excellent snorkeling/diving fill the day before parties start at night. Nearby Perhentian Besar, the big island, caters more to families, couples, and travelers who are willing to spend more to enjoy the blue water and skip some of the partying. Regardless of the island you choose, getting to the Perhentians requires taking a speedboat. There are a few challenges for setting up shop on the islands. Number 5. Malacca. Malacca is one of the most historic Malaysian destinations to visit. Found on the west coast, there's an eclectic mix of architecture and culture to explore. There are colonial Portuguese ruins, British era buildings and a dense Chinatown that have all contributed to the UNESCO World Heritage status. Visit the famous Jonker Street to uncover local culinary delights and check out the unusual floating mosque that sits out on stilts in the ocean. Number 6. Johor Bahru. Few people ever seem to visit Johor Bahru, so if you are wondering where to go in Malaysia that's off the beaten path, then this is the city to visit. Johor Bahru is overshadowed by Singapore, which lies across the border to the south, but actually, this is one of Malaysia's biggest cities and traditionally one of the most important. You can delve into the culture and see the grand palaces of the Sultan of Johor, who used to hold sway over much of the peninsula. Number 7. Cameron Highlands. Malaysia's green Cameron Highlands are one of the few places in Southeast Asia where you'll actually want a jacket or warm blanket at night. After sweating across tropical climates, you may appreciate the change of climate. The Cameron Highlands is like nowhere else in Malaysia. You'll see plenty of lush scenery, tour beautiful tea plantations, and enjoy access to decent hiking trails that weave through plantations and around volcanoes. Strawberry farms, butterfly gardens, and flower greenhouses are all enjoyable distractions to be found in the Cameron Highlands. The climate provides good conditions for growing fresh vegetables and producing delicious local honey. Number 8. Tioman Island. Located on Malaysia's east coast not too far from Singapore, Tioman Island is a different kind of island destination. Accommodation and excellent diving are surprisingly inexpensive. Development is relatively minimal for such a nice island. Abundant nature and scenery make up for the island's severe shortcomings in the culinary department. Tioman is carved into many different beaches. You'll have to choose when arriving by boat. Some beaches are secluded and surrounded by jungle. ABC Beach is arguably the most popular beach, particularly for budget travelers. Moving between beaches by boat is the regular option, unless you're up for a jungle hike through the interior. Number 9. Georgetown. UNESCO World Heritage listed Georgetown is the epitome of multicultural Malaysia. Found on the island of Penang, this is a foodie's paradise where you can have a traditional Malay breakfast of roti, followed by a steaming bowl of Chinese dumplings for lunch and a delicious Indian curry for dinner. The streets are full of character and street art, and there's a thriving nightlife any day of the week. Number 10. Langkawi. Langkawi is one of the most beautiful travel destinations in Malaysia, and the country's favorite tropical getaway. It's perfect for a weekend escape because this duty-free island is laid back and beautiful, with some of the best beaches on the west coast. There are great island hopping opportunities, spectacular vistas from the top of the Langkawi cable car and sky bridge, and plenty of bars and restaurants along the beaches. Thanks for watching the videos. Please subscribe our channel and click the bell icon to receive the new videos on time. YouTube, Cool&hothub.